And hello, welcome back to episode 2 of the podcast. I am delighted to say I'm joined by Jamie again, and I'm joined by Louis. This week we got some juicy topics, but a big thank you to those that watched last week, got involved with the Premier, left comments, left feedback, really amazing, and thank you so much. But this week, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about Manchester United and Chelsea. Are they in crisis? Everton, are they the worst run club in the Premier League? They've got new owners, potential new owners on the way. And what does that mean? We've done some deep dive and some sort of digging into who they are and what they're about. Then we've got Tom's teaser. Tom's teaser is currently 0-0. But this week, I promise you, one of you will get this. It's an incredible question. And then we're going to talk about Tottenham. Are they, or could they win the Premier League? We're going to find out. Louis got some views on that. Jamie's got some different views on that. So we'll find that one out. And then we've got the best bet. Are we going to be in a yacht soon? Because we did win. One of us did win the best bet. Maybe we're going to be there in a couple of weeks' time. The yacht, get it booked. We're going to be on the yacht. And then we're going to finish with a quiz. Louis, you won the quiz with the last question last week. You had a chance to win it. So the quiz, I know you'll be getting involved with the quiz at home. So the quiz is where we're going to finish. But let's get straight into it. And we obviously had the weekend's football. Manchester United got turned over 3-1 at home to Brighton. You know, unbelievable result there. And Chelsea drew away at Bournemouth 0-0. But first and foremost, Manchester United and Chelsea, are they in crisis? We'll go with you first, Jamie. Manchester United. What's going on?
Well, what isn't going on is more the issue. You know, they say dysfunctional organisations do dysfunctional things, and that just seems to be a theme running through Manchester United. They just keep embarrassing themselves with decisions on and off the pitch. You've got the Greenwood situation. They completely botched that situation. Put together a PR plan where they had domestic abuse charities in the contrary column. And that gets exposed by the press, which is unforgivable to have a kind of plan behind the scenes. And then that comes out. You have Sancho getting called out by Ten Hag, a disaster. Another headline maker during the international break when things are supposed to be pretty quiet, no less, as well. You got Sancho fighting back. You got Ten Hag being overly strict, probably. Other players, James Garner, who left the club recently, saying that Ten Hag is strict. And then Ten Hag not really doing his job very well either on the pitch. Really poor on the pitch again. They have a takeover pending. Not even pending at this point. They said they wanted investment 10 months ago, and they still haven't sorted that out. So United just right now need to stay quiet. They keep trying to make headlines, and they keep completely botching it. Football is one thing. Will they get better under Ten Hag? Time will tell. They've struggled so far again this season. Another poor performance over the weekend. But off the pitch, just stay quiet. You don't need to comment on everything. You don't need to get involved in these situations. Just make good decisions that are not going to come back to bite you. And they just can't resist not doing that at the moment. And that is a crisis on and off the pitch right now.
I couldn't agree more. I think they've made more statements. They've got Premier League wins this season. And I think your comments last week, you did say, Fab, you did say Ten Hag will go. We were kind of on the fence, weren't we? What's your thoughts on Manchester United?
I think it's a bit worrying that they're getting worse, not better in second season now, Ten Hag. It's not like, last season where they started off really badly, lost at Brighton at home, then Bournemouth, Brentford 4-0 down at half time. And you think, okay, he's got a lot to change. It's a new manager, new thing, and you'll get better. And they did get better, and it's been fine kind of end of last season. Home form mainly was keeping them in it, keeping them doing well. And you see the start of this season, you think it's just getting worse. And it's not, I don't really see what's changing. Maybe, I don't know, maybe has he been figured out and not been figured out? You're still playing, don't have a right winger anymore. You're playing Bruno Fernandes out right wing, which kind of negates most of his creativity. So, yeah, I'm not really sure. It's just that it's a bit of a strange situation. I do think the off the field things probably have had an impact onto the on the field play, because it's just making them, there's just a lot of pressure on every game now. I see it with Chelsea, similar thing. It's like there's just so much pressure into any game that any result is just huge. And Man United, there's always pressure. It's the biggest club in England, and any little thing is going to be made bigger than what it is. But they have had a lot of just kind of incidents over the last month or so. They even invited Peterborough onto the pitch in their women's game, and without realising having to apologise for that, on top of, Sancho, Greenwood, Anthony. It's just a mess.
It's a mess, isn't it? I think you have to look at the owners as well. I know people don't want to talk about the owners, but when you've got Reguilon playing left back and you had the lot as an opposing team, when you're as a Brighton fan, lucky to see it, and you can look at that and you think, brilliant. Lindelof and even Martha's point and Anana's positioning, you just look at it and think, brilliant. We can get a result here. You've got Ericsson, I think it was McTominay and Casemiro. And Casemiro's not made a great start to the season. Usually in the past he does start slowly. But you look at it, you think, you've got so much faith that you'll get a result, making 6 changes. And Man United never used to be that. I know they've had an amazing home form. And they only lost once at home last season, which again was to Brighton. But maybe, is this the season where it all falls apart? Because it definitely feels that early on, we can be seeing big changes at Man United. But with that takeover now being estimated at 10 billion, that's what they want. No one's going to pay 10 billion for Manchester United. Not at the moment, not what's going on. So, crisis, you still think Ten Hag is going to go over the end of the season?
Yeah, it's unravelling, isn't it? You look at McTominay and Maguire. They're fringe players they want to get rid of, but he's gone completely upset them. He's mismanaging them. Why not get the best out of them? Or at least try. Are they good enough? I don't know, but they're not going to be now, are they? And that's the kind of management. It's just unravelling for our eyes. And they got Bayern Munich this week. And if they get hammered it,
Bayern Munich away, followed by Burnley away. That just says loss, doesn't it? I was looking, we've got best bets later, but I looked at Burnley. I can get them 4-1 to beat Man United, I think it was. And they're at home. And if Bayern Munich and Harry Kane just turn it on and really give them a drumming, that is going to be a miserable week, isn't it? So, Ten Hag out. Now, we did say we think he'll stay the season. Will Ten Hag stay the season?
Yes, I think he will stay the season. But I think that's just because the way Man United are. I don't think, they had Ralph Rangnick in charge for about 8 months of the season 2 years ago. And I think that as long they're still money-making machine, Man United, I think that's all the traders really care about that much.
Possibly, yeah. Ray Ronaldo was right. All those comments he made with the Piers Morgan interview, he said doesn't respect Ten Hag, said the club aren't winners, not mentality. Maybe he was right all along. So Man United, Ten Hag will go, Ten Hag will stay. I think he'll stay as well. I think you're right, the Glazers will hide behind it. But they're clearly in crisis, and what a miserable start to the season. And if they lose to Bayern Munich and Burnley, oh wow, it's going to be a big week. Now let's get on to Chelsea. Are Chelsea in crisis? Now, obviously, we talked about Chelsea last week, and it was an amazing conversation. We had lots of feedback from people. Where Louis ran, obviously, my comments that they finished 12th, and looking like that, maybe they won't finish 12th. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe they get relegated. Maybe they'll be in a relegation battle. Maybe I was wrong, and all these people slating me. Actually, maybe I shouldn't have put the relegation zone. Now let's go to Louis as an avid Chelsea fan, season ticket holder at home. Not what's going on. We know what's going on. You're obviously in crisis. What can happen? How can it change? What are your thoughts?
It's changed quite a lot since last week, because the game yesterday, I really thought Bournemouth didn't sit back, and I thought that's mainly been our problem so far. We've just kind of been stifled. And yesterday we started off well. Most of the game we were playing all right, and we just, when it gets to the final third, we don't know what to do. We were playing through them easily. Bournemouth were rubbish. Teams will beat them easily if they play like that. And if you don't put your chances away, which first off, 2 or 3 really good positions, Gallagher has an easy chance, should score that. But then I think, even going on from last season, the pressure, when we don't score, because we've just got it in our heads now that we can't score, that when we miss a few chances, everyone just basically shits the bed. And when they go up front, I saw Cole Palmer against Arsenal in the Charity Shield, gets that in the same position where he did yesterday, and he just cuts inside, bends it in the corner. And yesterday, everyone's just second guessing what they're going to do. Do I pass it? Do I shoot? And it's just like, I think that happens when you've got a lot of new players. Okay, it's indecision, but yeah, that wasn't on Pochettino. I think he kind of coached him a win. He got in good positions multiple times, and just players were just bad decision making, bad execution, and you can't do that in the Premier League constantly. We're just, I don't know. It can change though. It's very fine margins. We had an XG or at 1.9 yesterday, 0 goals. I think we've been underperforming XG the most in the league by a mile, consistently of the last year. And hopefully that can change. But a lot of injuries as well, and everyone go on about them. But we do have a complete.
You are sounding.
We do have a complete 11 injured from yesterday, and so it wasn't good.
I had to quickly put my minute in. Like last season, Liverpool got lots of injuries. You complained about it. XG, you weren't a big fan. But what I would say is, when I look at your team, I look at those players and I think Gallagher, Palmer. You boys said they're going to come 5th, and that pharmacy trip is on the line. But are these players good enough to even finish in the top half? I do have my questions out. With Gallagher was obviously linked with West Ham, and they should finish top half. You've got Palmer coming on, but Palmer needs to develop. He's not going to go and score. You had a new guy in midfield yesterday.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not good, but is he good enough top level? Obviously, Jackson's not got the goals yet, which you said would come. You got Colwell playing at left back. Now you're saying Pochettino's manifesto.
That's the one thing I'm a bit confused about. I know, like Guardiola's been doing that now. Now Arteta, having like 4 centre backs playing across the back line. Like Tony Pulis did that about 10 years ago.
Genius. Tony was changing football.
But we don't need to do that. Like Colwell he is good on the ball, and he is still good going forward. But Chilwell is just a better attacking fullback. Okay, he might not be as good defensively, but do you really don't think it's a thing that he's trying and not really needed? It's not really working.
And he was on the bench yesterday, right, Chilwell? Is that tactical or was that fitness?
Tactical.
So that was tactical?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I saw he was on the bench. And I was like, listen, we've had Louis, and Louis is obviously pro Poch, and it does seem a little bit reactionary to that, Poch, but Chelsea are under pressure. And Poch, Chelsea historically, if it's not going well, they sack managers now. I know it's new ownership, but what's your thoughts on Chelsea? Could we see an early managerial sack? Or
I don't think so. I mean, listen, the difference with Chelsea is it still feels like it's, like Louis said, it is fine margins. It's almost there, and it's not yet.
It's always fine margins at Chelsea, isn't it?
It wasn't last year though. I know that part. They were just trash, and it feels close. It feels like it's a mindset thing. It feels like some of these players need to get over that pressure, trip the full park with the lads, relax things down. They just get things back in order. They need to relax mentally in these balancing games to be able to execute the way they need to. I think it'll come for Chelsea. They haven't conceded a great deal of goals. When they have lost, it's 1-0 against Forest or whatever. They didn't concede against Bournemouth, even though they couldn't score. That's where the issues were last season. They're tight at the back. They're not scored up top, but that'll come. I don't think Poch will be that worried if they're creating chances, keeping it pretty tight at the back. That they'd almost stay, but it's going to take time.
I know I said it before, but Nkunku getting injured just before the season started is the worst player we could have got injured there, because I think he was the guy we were building a team around.
I agree with that, and I do think that's right. But I also believe when you spend £1 billion, you should have 3 Nkunkus or 4 Nkunkus. With every team deals with it. Brighton made 6 changes at Old Trafford and got your 3 or 1. Teams can do it. But I think also, let's be honest, Chelsea have very good fixtures, and we've always seen it on Twitter. We've always seen it. They play some big teams. You've got Villa next.
Villa at home, yeah, and then West London derby, Fulham away. I think that would be a tight game as well.
Fulham actually a really hard team.
Probably 0-0. That'll be my best bet for a few weeks' time. 0-0. Then it's like Arsenal.
They are seeing those fixtures. I saw you seeing. Yeah, and
I
also
say the best home season was against Liverpool.
First game of the season, isn't it? First thing and don't forget, they could have been 2-0 down. I mean, they were 2-0 down. VAR got involved. If that goes 2-0 down, that's a lot.
Could have been 2-0. Yeah.
Okay, no, you're right. But 2-0 mentality. Of course, you started the season well. Obviously, you have lost some injuries, but the fixtures turn. Yeah, they've not conceded goals, but they've had a very good start. But I'm going to come to you, Jamie. You said they finished 5th. Still happy with that prediction?
I think.
You're a stubborn individual. Yeah, no, I understand. And obviously 5th still.
Yeah, getting a bit.
Get it.
I'll still stick with it. It's one game. It's 5 games. It's 5 games.
A week can change.
But everyone won last week.
Yeah, but let me tell you this: when you put a prediction on that camera, when you put it and you look eyes at that camera, and you say they will finish 12th. So I was very happy that Robert Sanchez stopped making so many saves and let some in. But anyway, okay, and then Poch will survive the season.
Yeah,
we know you think he will. 100%.
Yeah,
as a Chelsea fan, 100%. Poch stays brilliant. Okay, so that's Man United and Chelsea. Obviously, I feel like these two clubs will not be the last time we speak about them. because they're a mess. But what I want to talk about next is Everton. Now, we don't just want to talk about top six, we're going to look at Everton. Now, Everton have got a takeover apparently coming very soon with 7 Partners, a Miami-based firm. They have clubs with links with Sevilla, Standard Liège, Red Star in France, Hertha Berlin. And it's fair to say, when you do some deep diving, they're not doing that well. Hertha Berlin, relegated. Standard Liège, their fans protested because they didn't make Europe. Sevilla just got their first win of the season. They were bottom. And it seems that Red Star also relegated. So it seems like they're not doing very well and the footballing side has not improved. So when if you look at an Everton fan, I found out a fantastic stat the other day. I was speaking to an Everton fan and he said to me, how many goals do you think the strikers scored last season? Now, off air, I told you, 1 goal. Their strikers scored 1 goal a whole 38-game season. This season, they've got 2 goals in 5 games in a 2-2 draw with Sheffield United. And the striker, again, has not scored. And they're 18th, but Burnley have 2 games in hand. They've got 1 point. They play a dismal football. Sean Dyche has not got them going. They're signing players like Ashley Young on free. And I'm afraid, it's a bit of a mess, isn't it? It's fair to say. Are they the worst run club as well? They've lost 430 million in the last 5 years. A financial fair play. They can't sign players. The stadium, 760 million, 260 million more than quoted. They've got no money. So they're a mess. We know they're a mess. They've been flirting relegation for a long time. Never been relegated. Is this the season we finally see Everton leave the Premier League?
Well, it's tough, you know. I was looking at the relegation picture. You got Luton. I think Luton might struggle quality-wise. Sheffield United, quality-wise, again, a bit of a question mark there. But then you can go after that. It's a little bit tough to pick the third team, I think. Burnley are in a little bit of trouble early on. If they need to adapt the Premier League in the same way Norwich didn't rather a couple of years ago. They can't play in a certain way, wanted to play the same way, they never adapted it, back down they go. Companies go find answers to that. Then you got Bournemouth, who tend to stick around in games, they tend to find a way. You know, they're always a very good manager as well. And then Wolves, watched the Wolves game with some player ratings for work on the weekend, and they did really well against Liverpool. Yeah, they caved in the second half, but I think there's some quality there, and they can cause some damage on a break as well. So it's tough to pick that third team, and Everton are strong candidates for it. And yeah, you know, like you said, they've been run terribly and fans aren't happy. I don't blame them. And then, you know, you wish for a new owner. And not everyone gets, you know, what Newcastle got after a bad owner is. And I don't know if the new owners can be classed as good, but they're certainly wealthy. And, you know, Everton could walk into another buzzsaw with another terrible owner here. So then, you know, you flip that and maybe they put a lot of money into it and they can spend in January and things might change. But at the moment, like you said, bad football as well. Dyche hasn't got results and it's concerning.
It's very concerning. It looks like the owners aren't putting money into other clubs either.
I don't think, I was reading about it and Rashiri, who owns it now, basically he's hemorrhaging money through Everton. So that's why they're trying to settle. But the takeover, they apparently don't have that much money either, so it might just be like basically buying it for £1 because they're in so much debt. And yeah, I think they're going to struggle. They've got the Premier League hearing on financial fair play is like a couple of weeks away. They said potential price reduction if it happens, but I don't know about that. But yeah, I don't think they don't have a good team at the moment. They can't spend. Awful football. Dyche, I think he's a bit outdated now. I don't know. With the team's just not very good. It's just that I watched them yesterday against Arsenal and they were a bit embarrassing at the way they were playing. It was just didn't even try to like play a bit. It was just and they're not just doing that against teams like Arsenal, they're doing it against like everyone. They can't score.
I think like you would take Dyche if he gives you fight and he gives you hard to beat. But I don't think he's doing even that. That Sheffield United game they should have lost. The scene where Pickford's laughing when he's saying that should have been a goal. That should have been 3-2 there. I mean, so they're not. I think you said they're not even beating good, you know, poor teams, if you like. And you're not seeing that fight that Dyche is supposed to deliver. You don't mind bringing in an old-fashioned manager. He's going to give you what the newer coaches don't, and that's like that extra bit of fight, that bit of naughtiness and stuff. You know, we're not even seeing that.
But what are they going to do? Because obviously the net spend their team for the last 5 years, they obviously have no money. They don't. I do actually feel for Dyche a little bit because you know Dyche, what he likes is wingers run down the wing, clip balls in, and that's what they started better, obviously. And he got 10 goals at Udinese last season, but he has got to
will
work
make a difference coming back
if he can stay fit.
Yeah,
But his record's horrible, isn't he? And he's got a brace on it, on his cheek at the moment. And McNeil played his first game. He started his first game, and maybe that will be a difference. They just sold Damari Gray, obviously, because they had a fall-up with Dyche. You look at their wing backs and you think, okay, right, balls into the box, get to the byline. Ashley Young started at right back. You look at their team, you just think, oh, this is going to be a long season. They're a really long season. Okay, if the 18th come January, well, they're going to have no money because when owner wants to sell, he's not going to pump money into that.
Well, they're saying they might wait and see what division they're in.
Yeah, they get a lot cheaper.
Could get relegated and they have. I think they're meant to move into the stadium next year, but it's getting into leagues, taking ages. So that could be like if they lose out on the Premier League money, and then you get parachuted payments a bit, but still it's going to be a big loss if they get relegated. Not for the Premier, I don't really.
Yeah, because they
really. I kind of want Everton to get relegated.
Well, you've been to the ground and you go to Survive. It's a horrible ground. Are you been as well?
Like a classic ground, but it's.
You've got the pillars in the way. You can't. I know they get a new stadium, but what I would say, they are, Everton away. When your team goes to Everton away, you think 5-6 years ago, you know what you're getting, loud crowd. The atmosphere it can be electric, one of the best places. So it'd be sad to see them go, but I agree. I
think they need to probably get relegated and come back up. I think they'll come back up straight away.
You never see that.
Yeah, they've seen a lot of the championship these days.
Yeah,
they get parachute payments, but they still got these players. You still got to change a lot of players, and I don't know. I think they're in for a long season. I do feel for the fans. It's going to be a tough.
Look at Watford. Kept great squad last season still.
Yeah,
just because they do it and tough.
And I think you have to be careful. These new owners, like you said, they get new owners, they're going to pass the fit and proper test because let's be honest, with newcomers owners can.
That class would pass the fit and proper.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I just flying through as well. And I think it's fair to say that we don't know enough about these new owners, but the signs are not encouraging when all the teams they have are getting relegated, protesting or not getting spend. The squad's awful. So I'll push you. Do you think they're going to get relegated this season?
At the moment, things could change, but at the moment,
Probably Everton fans, that's one relegation.
I think it's the end of the season, finally.
Yeah, I think they're going to be close, aren't they?
Quite like a history of clubs. Say like Sunderland, they always used to just escape, but they were class to get like 4 or 5 seasons. Everton have been bad for 4 or 5 seasons now, 3 or 4 seasons more. And eventually, you can't just keep on getting away with it.
Everton, Burnley. I think that's the showdown for me. I think Luton and Sheffield United will get relegated.
Yeah.
And I think Everton, Dyche, company, free flowing at Burnley, right? Where does that's a clash, isn't it? Either one manager gets sacked or they both stubborn stay out.
And see when they age.
Yeah, well, Burnley only played 3 games. Everyone forgets this. They played tonight and they had the game against Luton called off. So they've got a bit about them. And they've had a really tough start, actually. So it'd be interesting to get on. But Everton fans, if you are watching, what are your thoughts like? What do you think about the new takeover? What do you think of the playing style? Is it time? Do you change the manager this early on? Obviously, you haven't got any money. Can you get a loan market in January? Let's hear from Everton fans. Love to hear what you think. Right. Before we do topic 3, the last topic, Tom's teaser, sponsored by Flying Bean Coffee. Got the t-shirt on, got the Flying Bean coffee beans. If you've not been, unbelievable coffee. And Tom's teaser is brought to you by Flying Bean Coffee. There we go, moving up in the world. So, last week, 0-0, okay? As we learned last week, there's 2 38-year-olds playing in the Premier League, Thiago Silva and Ashley Young. Are you ready for Tom's teaser, okay? Now, just to let you know how this works, I'm going to ask a question. If they jump in with an answer, they get it right, point. Get it wrong, you're frozen out, okay? So maybe you don't want to jump in, maybe you do. Right then, so the Premier League. Who is the fastest player to ever score 50 Premier League goals? So in the least appearances. What a question this is, by the way.
Van Nistelrooy.
Van Nistelrooy. Straight in there, Van Nistelrooy. Pause it if you don't want any spoilers. But I'm going to tell you that Van Nistelrooy did it in 68 games and is 3rd in the list. Frozen out. Great answer. That's exactly who I thought it was as well. So, Jamie, this is a chance to get 1-up in Tom's teaser. Get it wrong, I might give you 1 more each. So I'm feeling generous this Monday.
It's tough. Coffee, but there's
Actually,
from the first game, right?
Yeah.
So from the first
game. This is we have to work out because they come through. They used to sound. They just got an impact straight away.
People like Shearer came through, didn't they? And God must have taken him a little bit.
Banging him into Southampton, wasn't he, maybe Jan?
I don't I'd go left field. Matt Letizia.
Matt Letizia.
Why not?
Not in the top 5. Not Matt Letizia. Should we give him another go? Should we give him another life each? Go on. Tom's teaser. We're going to give you one more life each.
I'm going to go. Holland hasn't got 50 goals yet, so Salah.
Mo Salah.
His first season or something. 31 his first season.
Had he played for Chelsea before?
He's
He's gone with Mo Salah.
You should know. I learned that before.
Incorrect. He's up there. He's up there, but he's not. He's nowhere near the big boys. So 68 in history is thirds. Second, 66. First, 65. One game in it.
I think I'm going to struggle with this one. There's a lot of names. Go Henry.
Henry, incorrect. So, second, Alan Shearer, 66. Banging himself. Yeah, you're close. But first, incredible striker. Moved to Man United. Won the treble.
Andy Cole.
Andrew Cole.
It's always Andrew
Cole.
He's
got a great stat here, actually. And messaged you on Instagram. Did reply. Yeah, there you go. So we did some quiz on Instagram, and it was who scored the most amount of Premier League goals without scoring a penalty. Yeah. Turns out Andrew Cole scored one penalty. One penalty.
Imagine if he would be probably like level with or close to Shearer.
Oh, if he had penalties, of course. Yeah, she was 260. He got 190. I think.
And why did he miss?
Yeah. He did miss 11 penalties. Yeah, no. So yeah, he scored one penalty, but it's really hard to find the penalty. Messaged you on Instagram, said, Andrew, come on, have you got it? And he said, yeah, one penalty. We found it on the archive, and there you go. That's Tom's teaser.
Tough one.
Tough teaser.
So many contenders.
So
the Premier League is saying he didn't score.
He did. We got it on record, and he did confirm that. So 0-0. You boys move on to week 2, sponsored by Flying Bean Coffee. Thank you again for the merchandise and the coffee beans, but unfortunately, you two scored 0. Okay, going to move on to our third topic then. I'm going to talk about Spurs. Pretenders or contenders? Can they win the Premier League? Because let's be honest, so far, unbeaten, 4 wins, 1 draw, scoring goals for fun. Made some good acquisitions in defence. Going to come to you first, Louis. Tottenham, contenders or pretenders?
No, they're pretenders.
They're pretenders.
They started off very well. There's no chance of them winning the league or even coming close. They won't be within 15, 20 points of whoever wins.
20 points, 7 games, 7 wins.
I don't know. They started off very well. Again, 5 games in. I'm a big fan of Ange. I think he's really good to listen to as well. He speaks well on everything. But again, early days, fine margins again. If they lost yesterday or on Saturday, they've got a different feeling. And yeah, okay, obviously they did win in the end, and that's good fight from them. They are scoring goals, but it can change very quickly. I don't think you don't just go from where they have been to title contenders like that.
Hey, Leicester.
Hey, Chelsea. You said last week that Conte got them flying.
But I don't know. But no, they have started very well and they're playing good football. But again, I said the same. Football was interesting because you watch some of their games. The Bournemouth game, we played Bournemouth, but I was watching that game and Bournemouth had a lot of chances as well. That Vicario's made quite a few good saves, and goals just change. Goals change games, and if Maddison's been great signing so far. And they can score, and that's the most important thing, really. And it'll be interesting to see against Arsenal next week because Spurs have had, I think, other than us, the easiest start on paper. So yeah, it'll be a good game next week against Arsenal. But yeah, you don't just go to tons of contenders like that.
So you're saying no chance of winning the league? 20 points, we just said. 20 points, he said. And top 4? Are you screwed?
No, I can't. No, because I've got us coming 5th.
So you finished 4th. If we're saying
I'm going to Spurs 4th.
I think the consensus is Man City first, Arsenal second, Liverpool third. Is that right?
That's right.
I think that's most people saying that. And there's that 4 spot, isn't there? And I think we're all used to saying Chelsea 5th and
Brighton
12th.
Good.
Yeah, I think Brighton good. Yeah. This is nice. I might fall over. Yeah. Well, I think we've had a strong start. But as I say, we think that fourth, though, is between Tottenham, a Brighton, a Manchester United.
Chelsea go be. If you say United, you can't not say Chelsea. United is so much worse.
It's because Chelsea finished.
You're ahead of us still.
Yeah.
Every time I look at it, I'm like, how?
Chelsea finished 12th last season and they actually got worse. Yes, they will. Anyway, we talk about Tottenham. So Tottenham, can they squeeze 4?
Yeah, I think they can, definitely.
Okay, they can finish 4, but 20 points off top. Now, coming to you, Jamie, can they win the league? And do you think they're squeezing top 4? Where's your head at with Tottenham?
I mean, they can win the league. I don't think we're going to, but I think they'd be top 4. I think 20 points is harsh. I think Ange will be very upset with that this morning. But this thing's just changed the mood, hasn't he? I think that, like he said, he speaks so well of things, and he saw him over the weekend, saying, should you temper expectation? He's like, hell no, it's just get excited. I love that. This is a Tottenham team who spent the last 3 or 4 years thinking, that kind of Chelsea mindset, like you said, please don't bottle it, please don't bottle it. Oh, we've bottled it. Like, you put that pressure on yourself. If you kind of bath in that expectation of the reputation you have, and it's gonna keep happening. And I think that he's just changed that really quickly. They just seem so much more relaxed. A young squad, a lot of players with something to prove. Other than Kane, they had a pretty low-profile transfer window. It wasn't, was go and chase this deal with Kane going, etc. It was, Brennan Johnson was a bit of a gamble, I think, for the price they paid, but they didn't go out and try and sign Oxford or someone else with the money that they had. Didn't do like what Liverpool did with Coutinho a few years ago. I just think it's just a whole different atmosphere around Tottenham. They're relaxed. They got something to prove. There's no huge expectation. I mean, with Kane gone, no one's expecting him to go and win something now. Imagine they did after Kane goes.
There's no already on the League Cup, aren't they?
But I just think
before and stuff.
The FA Cup to come. But yeah, I just think that will help them. They're not an Euro either, so that's going to help as well. And the top 4 is perfectly realistic.
So you think 4?
Yeah.
You think it's squeezing 4? At the minute, early on, I admit, I love it. I love Tottenham at the moment. They're so fun to watch. They've won I say it's a big thing. They've won the possession battle, right? I know you say possession. What does it matter? Previously, Tottenham, Mourinho, Conte, they'd Nuno for a little bit. It was stale, wasn't it? Let's be honest. So they're winning possession. They're having so many shots on goal. Sheffield United team, let's not forget, they held Man City for 85 minutes. They got a late goal when Man City scored. They're well organised. Yes, they scored 2 goals at the end, but some of the signings, Basuma's now playing well. Love their left back, Adogi. He's brilliant. What a player he is. Pedro Porro, good going forward, bit suspect going back. And obviously, Brendan Johnson, bit of pace out wide. Solomon, I love what he's doing. But Sarr in midfield, Bentancur's come back. Bentancur's a really good player. Yeah. So when he suddenly gets to Basuma, more quality. I love what they're doing. The next 6 fixtures are really hard. Next, they've got Arsenal away. We're going to really find out where they're up to then. They've got some London derbies as well.
Liverpool at home after that.
Ooh, so there you go. To Arsenal away, Liverpool at home. We're going to really find out where they are. They've got Luton to come. So it'll be interesting to see how they got on against the big boys, against the smaller teams with low blogs. But let's be honest. When you sit down and you think, right, who do I want to watch today? This is a Super Sunday. Tottenham I would avoid at any cost. Like Newcastle for me are really boring. Spurs on Super Sunday, I'll try and watch the game. They're exciting, they're fun, and Ange comes across so well, doesn't he?
I think it makes a big difference with George. You said just the atmosphere, because you had Conte there, who the whole time he was there, he made it seem like he was beneath them. He was like, "Oh, I'm doing them a favor," and why would you? That's such a bad attitude to have, and I think it just rubbed off on everyone. That same thing happened at Chelsea in the end. He just kind of pissed off everyone. Awful atmosphere. Players don't want to play for you.
Miserable, isn't it?
And miserable. And it's just, I think Conte is just quite a miserable person, really. I know you can say, oh, he's a winner, but you can win in different ways like that. And I think Ange is what they should have got 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And although I would like to say, last year, or whenever it was 2 years ago, I can't even remember what it was. It must have been last year. Nuno was the manager.
Yeah.
First 4 games. Won the first 4 games, manager of the month. And then they lost the next 4, got sacked.
Yeah, whoa. I do, but they won them 1-0 and they were horrible.
Ugly.
So what? Oh, can you remember that?
Yeah.
But he's bought himself time, Ange, because the fans are on board now.
It's fun, isn't it?
And yeah, they went to ground, they're all there. And after the game, okay, they beat Sheffield United. And they're all running around do you know what? Enjoy it. You won. You scored the 98th, 101 minute. Enjoy it. And I think he's bought himself time there. He's got an atmosphere, amazing ground as well. What a football ground that is. And suddenly, I can see big things. You're both going maybe fourth. I think they're going to finish fifth or sixth, only because I love watching them. But I think like these tough fixtures, when the going gets tough, I just think have they got enough quality against your Arsenals, your Liverpools,
I think
and stubborn away games.
They're very open as well.
Yeah.
I know it was the first game against Brentford, but Brentford were like kind of cutting through them quite easily. So yeah, against better teams, it'd be interesting to see how it works because the best team they played was United on paper.
Exactly.
United being horrendous.
Brentford
is a hot.
Oh, really? But they actually had 71% possession. But I agree, Brentford had too many chances. And I think when the Christmas period comes, and then you're game, and you look at their team and go, okay, few injuries, what happens here?
See if they've got the 12 injuries we have, and we'll see what happens.
But don't underestimate that fun factor. It's that Leicester team, the one of these pizzas after every win, and that mindset makes so much difference.
You're going to say Spurs? So you're saying Spurs could win the league? You're saying Brighton? You say Brighton could win the league, aren't you?
I'm saying.
Yeah. Did you know I had someone said something amazing today? He said, if we just took Man City out of the league now, right? So we just ignored Man City. This should be one of the best Premier League races maybe of all time. Because you've got no one is near City, let's be honest, right? You've got 4 or 5 teams that just think they could get up there. And they get it, Arsenal, your Liverpool, your Spurs, your Brightons. They are going to have like slip-ups. So this could be an incredible season. God, Man City, you start losing some football games. They flirted the idea against West Ham. So anyway, we're saying Champions League. Well, I think they finished 5th, and if we're assuming 5th is Champions League, if it was, I think Champions League as well. I agree with you. Ange, if you're watching, you're the man. We love you. Spurs fans, we know you've been, obviously, Ollie, big friend of the podcast. He went to the game, English made easy, Ollie, loved it, atmosphere incredible, and I know he's been enjoying watching Tottenham. He actually watches every game now. So I think Spurs fans, you've got some exciting times ahead, but let us know what you think. So now we're going to move on to the best bets. Are we going to be on a yacht? Who won, who lost? So let's start with the banker. Should we say Jamie's banker? Remind everyone, what did you go for last week?
Both teams.
Yeah, you for
no,
yourself.
remember, both teams score. Liverpool against Bournemouth and Liverpool to win. And as you know, with Jamie's retirement fund, steady returns on small investments. And that's what paid off. A big win there. I mean, Wolves scored early on, I thought, we're in. And Liverpool took some time, but they made it happen. And yeah.
Did you watch the game?
I did. Yeah, I did.
And were you thinking, here we go, retirement funds?
I was pricing up yachts, and
the Wolves were missing Chelsea off the chance.
So you put £10 on, it returns 26.25. So you've now got a nice Jamie Green 26.25. You are in the positive. And at 1-0 down, I could only watch the second half, so I just had you gloating in the WhatsApp group. But they won it, so congratulations. You're green. We'll come to your bet in a second. And just a quick question, can you get yachts for 26.25?
Small ones like this.
Okay, we can buy a toy yacht. Right, your best bet, remind us, was?
It was draw half-time, Man City full-time in West Ham Man City game, which somehow didn't come in. Well, yeah, I didn't expect West Ham to be winning at half-time, let alone, and they were winning, and then to make it even worse, West Ham conceded after about 40 seconds in the second half, and then obviously went on to win, so quite gutted about that. It was almost spot on. It was almost...
Yeah, that's actually very unlucky. It seems like this could be the theme of your season, really, couldn't it? And I think the viewers at home, and I myself, I'm enjoying it a lot, to be honest with you. The theme is so close, yet so fun. That is actually very unlucky. So you're on a big fat red, Louis, -10. Now myself, I didn't go boring. I went for it. I wanted £101. I wanted to get that yacht a little bit quicker. Whether Brighton to turn over Man United, 6 changes, 3-1, easy. Second game, West Ham, Man City draw. West Ham take the lead. I am genuinely, I'm with a Man City fan. I'm like, listen, trust me, this is coming in. And they can see after 40 seconds and Man City went 3-1. And I'm a big fat red 10 as well. But at half-time, I actually was already getting ready to glow. Like, here we go.
Well, how many yachts can you buy for -10?
You can't buy many. I don't even get a loan out either. So, Jeannie, you're plus 26.25. We need to get our act together. We're -10. So this week then, let's go with Jamie first. You're on your nice green number. What's your approach for your £10 this week? Are you going to go hard or just play it safe again?
Steady returns on decent bets. That's all we do. We're just planning slow retirement. I've got many years to retire, unfortunately. So, yeah, I've got time to play this out. And I've gone Villa and Chelsea over 3.5 goals.
So, I've had 3.5.
Yes. Same odds as last week, 13-8. And I'll tell you why. Villa, 7 games in all competitions. 5 of those games have been over 3.5 goals. And the other 2 had 3 goals in each. That is incredible. Chelsea, not so good. They could let us down. But, as Louis likes to point out, 4th in expected goals. This could be a very open game. And we could see goals, and that's decent odds, I think. It could be another 20.
Remind us, there were 2 away games. 5-1 Newcastle, they lost.
3-0 to
Liverpool. Okay. So they've shipped 8 goals in 2 away games, so that's great for your bet, isn't it?
Goals.
But there's one thing you have kind of high line, but the people running onto it are Gallagher and Jackson.
Jackson will like that, true. They're running in space.
Okay, so that returns another 26.25. Come on, that comes in, you're 52.50.
Edging. That's all we like
if
to
that
do.
comes in, we're in serious trouble, aren't we? Right, okay, you see, Jamie, and again, bet responsibly, but Jamie's gone slow, steady, wins the race. Where are you at this week?
I've gone even slow.
Oh, what are these two? I feel this is a theme of the podcast.
I was just looking at the odds, and after talking about Everton, and Brentford at home, 3-4 against Everton at 4 is pretty good. I know it's like fairly low odds, but I think that's a good bet. I think Everton don't really have many answers at the moment, and Brentford are pretty good at home. And yeah, so I'm just going simple. Brentford to beat Everton. I was debating whether -1 like to win by 2 or more goals, but no, I'm just going to go Brentford win, get back on track.
You know what's going to happen? I just know what's going to happen. You can see it, can't you? This is your season. Here we mentioned the WhatsApp group. Here we go, Brentford. Tarkowski, last minute header, like 98th minute. So let us know, the fans at home, and people watching, £10 returns.
I'm sure. I think it's like
it will be around 18, isn't it?
Yeah,
about 18 pounds. Okay. 18. So you two have really gone 26, 25, 18. Now I'm doing safe. Last week I was incredibly unlucky. So what am I going to do? I'm going to chase the big one again. Okay. So I've actually gone not similar to you. This is going to surprise you. So first of all, I'm going to go Arsenal to beat Spurs. Okay? Because I really do think Spurs will concede chances. And I think Arsenal, and it's always probably the best game in the Premier League, the North London derby. Maybe 2 or 3-1. But hey, Arsenal to beat Spurs. Both teams to score. Then I'm going for, I can't believe I'm going to say this on camera, Chelsea to beat Aston Villa. Both teams to score. Now you're thinking, why? You think Chelsea are rubbish? I do. However, Aston Villa Thursday night are in Poland. On Thursday night, Europa League conference. They have a tiny squad anyway, like defence-wise, I'm thinking midfield. I think Emery will take the European competition quite seriously. We're looking at past. Away game, Poland, against Chelsea with a high line. If Jackson can't score on Sunday, he'll never score. So I actually think both teams, and that will return a whopping £101. Now, I will be getting that yacht, and I will be up, okay? Because currently we're down 10. Even if you win yours, you'll still be down. You'll be down £3. Can't change now. Locked in. So you've gone safe. Listen, you're working. You changed your approach. Oh, you've kind of gone a little bit safer. I'm chasing the big ones. And I'm going Arsenal. Yeah, I think that's quite I always say this. It's 10-1. I'm like, it's quite a safe bet, isn't it? I think, Arsenal, Spurs, there's goals in that game, isn't there?
Is that Arsenal?
Yeah, there's Arsenal goals in that game. And I think Villa away Thursday night, their high line. I mean, I don't know their score, but I think they will get one against your team. Robert Sanchez will throw it in for me. I'll speak to him. So that's our best bets. At the moment, Jamie, you are winning. Keep it up. Me and you, we need a fix-up, okay?
Yeah.
And I say fix-up, you'll still win the red if you win. But anyway, okay, so that's our best bets. Now, let's finish off with a quiz. Last week, that was tough, wasn't it? It was so tough. You were winning, had a chance to win it. Louis straight back to 1-1. Last question, 2-1, champion. 1-0 to you. So let's have some thoughts pre-game. Are you going to win? Second week in a row?
Yeah, I'm more confident.
More confident. Jamie, how are you feeling?
I bottled it last week.
You did. I don't want to say it. You did.
I spoke to Big Ange. He's relaxed me ahead of this one, so I'm happy.
He's relaxed you?
Yeah.
You feeling good?
That sounds a bit weird.
That does sound a little bit weird.
Word of wisdom, that's all.
Okay, so quiz. As we know, I have 5 questions for you, okay? You jump in, you're frozen out. Right, first question. Here we go. Good luck, okay? Don't say yes, just say the answer, okay?
Full names? Can I get that?
No. So I accept surnames, or what they're known by. I only accept nicknames as long as I understand the nickname, okay? Right, the first question of the quiz. Are you playing at home? If you want to pause after each question, because these two might jump in and get one right or wrong, who knows? Right, the first question. Since its inception of the Premier League 1992, how many teams have won the Premier League? Seven. Correct.
I know. I didn't even count it. I was just panicked.
7. Correct. I got my eyes like this was a good one. Right. So 7.
Levelhead.
Do you want to name them? Do you want to name them for the viewers now?
What we got? Leicester, Blackburn, Chelsea, City, Liverpool, Arsenal,
United.
Yeah.
7, soon to be 8
And more to
when Spurs win it. So here we go. So 7. Well done. 1-0.
Levelhead. Can't get excited.
Because this is what happened last week, isn't it?
So I don't know whether to just jump in or actually just count.
Well,
I know I did neither.
That's the risk, isn't it? And when you do that, Jamie strikes home 1-0. Right. This is what happened last week, though, so just can't head in the game, okay? It'd be great if you can even this up. I'm brave. So the next question is a cracking question again, I must say so myself. So, only one team has won the FA Cup and then been relegated that season.
Wigan.
1-1. Wigan. Who scored the header? Can you remember?
Yeah, Ben Watson.
Yeah, it was 1-0. Was it 1-0? Was it against City?
Class.
And they had a red card, didn't they? Manchester red card. Great game. I knew a Wigan fan. Oh, he would never stop going on about that. 1-0 is saying that if we did that, I'd be exactly the same. So, 1-1. He's got quick. He's done it quick. Next one won't be as quick. I say that and then you'll probably get it really quickly. So, next one. We've talked about Spurs this show. And they obviously interest us. They had a lovely striker called Jermaine Defoe. Who did they sell Jermaine Defoe to and then re-buy him?
Portsmouth.
2-1. Good. That was quick, actually. Wasn't expecting that. How'd you feel that? It was good, wasn't it?
2008, Cup tied for the FA Cup winning season, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's that.
Cardiff got the final.
They did give the Didn't pause with every game 1-0 as well. Incredible, yeah. Romero Rio Ferdinand in goal.
United winning the treble.
It did, yeah. Right, 2-1. You've got to get this, all right? Or I need to draw. You might know this one. You definitely know it. It's in there somewhere, okay?
Yeah.
Question 4. Again, pause it if you want. This is tense. You could win this here. Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi. Who is next of all-time Champions League goal scorers?
Lewandowski.
Boom, 2-3.
Yes.
What a shout that is. Wow. That was quick. God, I thought you might go for Benzema, or you might, but...
Group stage, isn't it?
Yeah, snap at him. So, 2-2. Here we are again. This is a good little matchup, this isn't it? Now, I have 2 questions. I have a tiebreaker, and I have one from this weekend. I have a career path, and I have a stat from this weekend. I'm just thinking which one I want to do.
Toughest one.
I'm going to do the toughest one.
Yeah.
Here we go, 2-2. Good luck to you both, right? I feel the pressure. And likewise, you can comment now. If you're premiering out, if you're live on YouTube with us tonight, you can say who you think's going to win. Right. This weekend, the Premier League, there was 1 red card. Who got it?
McBurney.
Ollie McBurney.
Got to be the latest red card ever, so surely.
It was.
100.
Should we do, just to make it more dramatic, I'm going to do the bonus question, right? To see if you would have got the bonus question. Let's see if I flipped it around, but you have one, okay? Well done. So here we go. This is the bonus question, okay? This is a career path. Now, I've just done the English clubs with a few. Tottenham, QPR, Portsmouth, Aston Villa, Norwich, Southampton, Liverpool, Portsmouth,
Peacock Crouch. Yeah.
You would have got it. Oh, you would have got it as well. You would have got it. You would have been the champion if I asked that question.
Would have, could have.
Should have. If you haven't, so thank you so much to Jamie and Louis. You did the quiz again. That's 2-0 to you now. Tom's Tina. Who's Tina? God, I wasn't going to mention Tina on camera as well. Tom's teaser brought to you by Flying Bee Coffee. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't, please subscribe. And a massive thank you to all watching. And we'll see you next week. Thank you both. Cheers.
Cheers.